just going to do some YouTube live thing. Hello. Sorry, I'm just getting set up. Bit of an impromptu one tonight. I have a buggy here. It's actually my brother's, and I said I would get it all sorted and sort all the bits out that I generally do to them. Clean up all the wiring, do the battery mod, all that sort of stuff. And I thought while I do it, I would do a bit of a live stream. So here I am, talking to myself and to a couple of other people by the looks. So fresh car here. He got it. He's actually come over from America, from Florida, and he's going to do a bit of racing next week with me at the club. So I've just noticed he's left the battery plugged in. So that's a great start. That battery is obviously going to need redoing because that is going to be absolutely screwed by now. So yeah, we're going to have to revive this battery. Let's quickly try and do that. Going to need to see if I can trick this battery back into life. There are ways of doing it, none of which are officially a good idea, but I can tell you now it's not going to accept a charge like this. I've got my charger here and we will plug it in and see what happens, but I can assure you this battery is toast at this point. So let's see if it accepts a charge. I'm sure it won't. Well, what do you know? Is it going to work? It'll be the first time it's actually taking a charge. Really? I'm absolutely blown away. I don't think he's I think he's left that battery plugged in there for probably 2 weeks. And as most people probably know, normally when you leave them in there, it drains itself. That starts to make me wonder whether they've done something to the ESC. Has Lossy actually listened and sorted the ESC out? I'm absolutely gobsmacked by this. Anyway, we'll leave that on charge and get to work on tidying the car up. So let's start by doing a bit of a strip down. Anyone that has watched any of my other videos will know the routine. I'm going to fit a transponder for him. I will clean up the servo wiring while I'm at it. Sorry, this isn't more clear. Could do a little pit mat. If you're watching this, let me know if the audio is working. I'm never 100% sure. I'm trying a different camera tonight, which looks a little clearer than the old one. So there we go. That battery is still accepting charge. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by this. This battery was left plugged into the car for 2 weeks and it's not killed it. I'm absolutely stunned. Right, so we are going to chop the servo wire off, solder it directly onto the board. So we are going to need a helping hand. Got any questions, anyone? Give us a shout. Let us know what you've been up to. Got had a bit of a nice parcel turn up today. I got myself my micro T that finally arrived here in the UK. You guys have had them for weeks, if not months, and they only just arrived here. So very excited to give that a go. That is also going to need some work doing to it. Whether we get onto that tonight, I don't know. I've had huge amounts of things going on recently. We had our event 2 weekends ago, not last weekend, the weekend before, UK 128 Open, which was something that I organised myself, which went down really well, and everyone was really excited about and had a great time. So hoping to do another one of those at some point soon. Those that have just joined, I am working on a micro B here. It's actually my brother's. He has flown in from Florida and he's going to do some racing with me this coming Monday. So I am just prepping the car for that. Normal routine of sorting the servo leads and shortening all the wires. I'll do the battery tray mod and anything else that I can see fit while having a chat with you guys. Nice, Blunderbikes. I have also just got myself a mini or micro T, should I say? And I'm very excited to try it out. The only one at the club that has got one ordered at the moment, so I am on my own. How do they compare? How side by side racing micro B and micro T? how do they compare side by side? Much, obviously the longer wheelbase on the buggies, I'm assuming that lends to more speed, but then the shorter wheelbase also might be a bit more nimble, I guess. So I'm interested to see the difference between them. Oh, that was a mess. Audi MR04. Which one's that? Hang on, let me move you up. I've got a few cars up on the shelf here. Oh, sorry, camera's a bit wobbly at the moment. I'm in the process of sorting things out. These are old, rather old and dusty ones. They've been sat on the shelf for a little while. Kind of retired now. Interesting. Interesting that you're saying you're finding the Micro T faster. That gets me excited. I had another chap who races at my club saying that the Micro T on carpet, they were getting a lot of grip roll, and to put the Micro B front wheels on, and to me that kind of defeats the whole thing of the Micro T. So I'm very reluctant to do that. So it's might take a bit of work to try and get that working. So I'm just sorry, I'll move the camera back down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, turning the dual rates down. Yeah, no, I figured that would probably be the case. There's other stuff that we can do to reduce the steering. So I wasn't quite that worried, to be honest. We'll see what happens, but I am excited to try it. No, I'm just doing the wiring on this here, and the solder that comes on them is funny stuff, and it doesn't always like to play ball. So I'm just going to swap the soldering iron tip over to the larger one to get a little more heat on there a little quicker, which is one handy little tip when you're doing the soldering. If you're struggling, it's probably because you've not got enough heat transferring quick enough onto your part. So use a slightly larger tip. You'll get the heat to transfer faster, and then things will start coming apart a little easier. I know people want me to do a video on soldering, and I have tried to shoot and edit one, but it wasn't great, so I haven't put it out yet. I kind of think that actually doing a live stream and just chatting to people and sorting their issues as we go along would maybe be the easier way. But as I say, I haven't got around to it. But now I have got that big event out of the way with, I am able to focus more on doing some more YouTube stuff and getting some videos out there. I've got loads of footage that I need to work through and put together, but yeah, as I say, I've been so busy recently. I had 128th Open 2 weekends ago, and then I did a big sailing race with a friend this past weekend, so I was away for a couple of days, and yeah, just not got around to it. Right, let's get this cut down and soldered onto the board again. I've actually forgotten which way around it goes. It's the other way. Brown on the left. How's everyone else doing? What you've been up to? Been racing? What you're racing? Say hi. Where are you watching from? Anyone from the UK? It's kind of late here. Most people are probably in bed. I should be in bed, but I said I'd do this for my brother, so I am trying to get it done fairly swiftly. Just stripping back these wires. More soldering tips. My tip with this is some of these wires, servo wires, the wires have a real habit of shorten the outer sleeving. When you go to heat it up, they shrink back a long way, so don't expose too much of the ends, because by the time you've tinned them, they're going to be twice as long as you started with. So I'm just taking off probably 2-3 mil, exposing the ends, real tiny amount. Give them a little twist. Then we're going to tin them. I suppose I should probably do the transponder at the same time. So just tinning these wires, if you don't know much or don't do much soldering, this basically puts a small amount of solder on the wires so that when you come to do your final thing of soldering them to the board, you don't actually have to add any solder while you're doing it. There's enough on there. You can see now how much that those wires have shrunken back. If the camera will focus, I don't think it will. So yeah, some wires will shrink back a lot. If you've got silicon wires, like that are used like on the motor and stuff like that, then it won't shrink so much. But yeah, there you go. Right, I'm just going to grab a transponder for him. Here we go, Easy Lapse transponder. There's loads of these things. There we go. So that is going to get soldered directly onto the terminals here. I done a video on this. So if you need to refresh yourself, either rewind back on here or go over to the video. There's a video, there's a playlist of all my buggy stuff, loads of tips on getting your buggy set up if you're new to them. Again, doing the same thing here, just stripping a small amount back off the ends, and then I'll just tin them before trying to solder them to the board, which is going to go horribly wrong, I know, because nothing ever works easily when you're doing a live stream, but we'll give it a go. So just tinning the ends of these. Hello, Easy Fallout. Hello again. How's things going? Hope you're keeping well. I am just working on my brother's car. He's come over from Florida, and I said that I would prep this for him. He's going to come race with us on Monday night. This coming Monday, we've got buggy racing. So yeah, just getting this all prepped. Right, this is the proper fiddly bit. Trying to get this set up so that. Now, apologies, you probably won't be able to see this because my fat hands are going to be in the way. But I'm sure anyone that has done this themselves will know how fiddly it is. I've got to get these all soldered up onto the board at the same time. Which is never easy, and I've forgotten how I did it last time. I think I should be able to manage to do it like this. Or am I going to do it separately? Maybe I can do it separately. Yeah, how's everyone been? What they got planned this week? Any racing going on with yourselves? I have just received a little parcel in the post. Don't know if you can see it. Finally, my micro tea. No, sorry, I can't quite get it in the camera. Finally, my micro tea arrived. I am very excited to try it. We've got buggy racing coming up this Monday, so I need to try and get that prepped as well. Won't be tonight though. Need to get this one done first. Okay, so as I said, with these tinned, I'll see if I can get this camera to focus down small. I don't think it will, it's just too small. What's Blunderbikes? What surface are you? Come off. What surface are you running your? Not got into touring cars myself. Although I would quite like to, but I just don't get time now with the club and family. I've actually been doing some sailing racing, model yacht racing. It's been quite good fun. Been doing that with my son. Just Sunday morning for a couple of hours. No, I meant track. Oh, hang on. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're on carpet as well for our buggies. Prima felt for the buggies, and RCP or Kyosho for mini Zs. All right, this is a tricky one. Trying to get these both on. One down. Two done. I think we're good. There we go. So we have got a transponder now wired onto our board. So that is all good. As we've done that, we are just going to need to open up the little hole on the board here, cover here, just a little bit. So just to allow the extra wires to poke through. We're still having issues with brushed motors at the club. I have not had a chance to do any more research or testing with the motors, but I do now have both the Endurance motor and Eco Power motor. To test, but sadly, from what I've been hearing from another club member, the Enduro motor is no better than the Eco Power motor, and it has been cutting out again. So I'm thinking that it is ESC related. I have got myself, sorry, apologise for the camera not going there, some MOSFETs to stack onto a board to try and see if we can make it cope with the extra power. So I will be trying that. So haven't had a chance to yet, but I will try and do that ASAP. We've been having a bit of a play around with the eco motors, and my major issue with those is the eco power, is that the pinions are too loose on those, unfortunately. A-Main have been quite good and refunded, I know, at least one person. I've yet to test mine, but if it goes down that route, I shall be seeing what they say. I've been in contact with A-Main regarding the various issues, and they've still insisted that it was all fully tested and still works, but I'm not so sure. But yeah, I will be doing some more testing on the 45 turn motors. It would be nice if someone actually came up with something that was a little more reliable and less thirsty. I think that 45 turn is just too much of a jump, and really we need sort of 50 or something like that. We tried super gluing the pinions, and it works for a little while, but then they loosen up. That's the one bonus to the Enduro motor, in that it comes not only with a motor plate, but it also comes with a pinion as well. So definitely that over the Eco Power, I think, which comes with absolutely nothing. The shaft is sort of serrated, but the stock pinions are just too loose. They last for about 5 minutes, a couple of blasts, and then they just start spinning. I hope, well, maybe other people will have more luck, but yeah, certainly glue it from new. As soon as it starts spinning, it's kind of too late. But yeah, anyway, moving on here. Need to do, I suppose I'll do motor while we're here. Let's get rid of that. Apologies for the mess here. My whole office / workbench is absolute state at the moment. Still trying to sort out my office and get some sort of camera set up properly and shelving and everything. It's been a mess since I moved house. But there you go. So yeah, just gonna shorten these motor wires, take off the heat shrink. Probably do better to remove the whole motor. Not done one of these for a couple of weeks, months. Apologies for my fingers getting in the way. Not too worried about if I cut them wires, because they're going to be shortened anyway. So yeah, we're just going to pop these wires off. And then shorten these down. So that's going to be going in there. Now, interestingly, for those that weren't here at the start, this battery was left plugged into the ESC, and most people will have found out that if you do that, it normally kills the batteries. But this battery was left plugged into that for at least, I think, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's started to charge, which I'm slightly amazed about. And we either got very lucky in that it was fully charged when it got left plugged in there and there's still a bit of residual power, or Horizon have actually done something useful and fixed the issue. I really don't know which it is, but I hope it's the fact that they fixed the issue. Thread locker better than glue. Yeah, maybe. A motor shaft that fit the pinion would be good. But yeah, I don't know really with the eco power motors. I'm slightly losing the will to live on trying to deal with the whole brushed motor thing. But then at the same point, I've still not seen a brushless setup that I'm that happy with either. There are brush setups that work, but nothing that's really been sort of optimized for the Micro B. Endura's setup is ridiculously overpowered, and kind of likewise with even with the 3,500 kV hobby wing. However, I am tempted to put one in just for the reliability and less sort of hassle that these 45 turns seem to be giving us. But I really don't want to be putting $30 or something motor into $100 car when the stock motor isn't actually that bad. It just needs a little boost, shall we say. All right, this is a pretty fiddly bit. Do they make a metal pinion? Does anyone make a metal pinion for the Micro B? I know Endura, with their motors, they offer a metal pinion and a metal spur, but I'm not a fan of metal pinions. Sorry, I'm sounding a bit fussy here, but I kind of have ways of doing things and things that I prefer. With these tiny motors and everything, I personally prefer to have a plastic pinion. Not only is it lighter, but a lot easier and cheaper to replace a pinion than it is to replace the spur. I don't even know if you can get a replacement spur for these. I bet you have to buy the whole new gearbox. I don't really want to be doing that all that often or ever. Right, sorry, just getting these motor wires shortened. I think I could go a tiny bit short on the red. I also feel like when you start doing like metal spurs and pinions, they get really noisy as well. And noise is never a good thing. Generally, it just means more drag. So personally, I stick with plastic, and even on my modified reflex, I prefer the plastic pinions. Looked after, they're almost silent. I'm saying that, oh no, it's the wrong pitch, isn't it? RCracing do some, no, that was it. I looked into the RCracing ones. RCracing do a mod 0.5 pinion, but it's a 2mm shaft instead of, what was it, 1.5? I think these ones are for the micro Bs. So that wasn't an option either, which is frustrating because that would have been good. We're not happy with how that was. I'm going to come around like that side. There we go. There we go. Wiring all sorted on the motor. Should be fairly neat. So we've got transponder sorted, motor wiring sorted, battery tray mod next, and then maybe a quick look at the shocks and just put a bit of oil in those for him. And actually I need to do my son's shocks as well. Huge great list of things to do at the moment. The club has been taking up huge amounts of my time with the 128th Open. I hope a few of you have watched the video on that. It was thrown together in a bit of a rush because I had so much on last week, but the event went really well. We had 27 drivers. We did something like 30 odd races over the day, and it was over 5,000 laps. We had races come from over 3 hours away. We had some races come from Bristol. We had races come from the Midlands and some from Dorset. So we had a good spread of drivers, which was really cool. I hope more people will come next time. The scene in the UK at the moment for Mini Z racing and 128th is fairly small. But I'm doing my best to try and grow it. So yeah, that was the kind of whole thought process behind that event. Just trying to get everyone together in the same place, have some fun racing, and everyone go home happy, which from as far as I can tell, everyone went home happy. Everyone went home with a prize as well, which was nice. We had some really nice prizes sponsored by Kyosho and one of the shops over here called Bomb Racing. And also John Murima also sponsored some prizes. And yeah, some really, really nice prizes. My son managed to walk home with one of the top ones, which was this little Kyosho body. It looks absolutely sick. I've put it on one of my MAO 2.0 chassis, and yeah, it looks cool, but I feel like it deserves a proper drift chassis. This chassis has had a couple of mods to it. The front one-way diff, I can't remember now. Had a few other bits to it, but personally it drives worse than the original car, so I'm a bit disappointed in it. But yeah, I am very tempted to get a drift chassis. If anyone has got any recommendations on a fairly budget friendly drift chassis, I would be interested to know. But yeah, we've been doing me and my son have been doing a little bit of drifting around the living room the last couple of days. It's been quite good fun. Right, battery tray mods, cut out basically just about everything, and get it screwed back in. So I've done a few of these now, but I think this mod has to be one of the best things, or best free mods that you can do to the Micro B. If you haven't done it yet, I really would recommend doing it. I'm just going to check back and see exactly how much I remove. There is a video on this already, so feel free to scroll back and find it. It will be in the buggy playlist, but my word, does it make a difference. It just makes the car so much more planted, and just stops it flipping over so much, which is such a crucial part of racing a buggy. Have I seen the on-road conversion to the Micro B? I have seen it. Now, do you really want my opinion? Tell me your opinion on it first. People watching, what's it called? Hackerfab on-road conversion for a Micro B. What's your opinions on it, people? Before I tell you mine, I'm not a fan. Okay, yeah. Anyone else got an opinion on it? You can probably tell from my tone. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, each to their own. But if I wanted to make an on-road car, why start with a buggy chassis? I haven't even looked at the price. It looks cool. I quite like some of the bodies they've done. I just don't get why they're doing it on a off-road chassis. Maybe it works, but why on an off-road chassis? Beats me. But there you go. As I say, each to their own. Sorry, I'm just trimming this battery tray down. Trying not to chop my fingers in the process. What I'm wondering is, how long is it going to be until we start seeing other companies, sort of aftermarket companies or more bespoke chassis companies, coming out with buggies as well? Are we going to see the likes of Reflex Racing, GL Racing, Atomic, those sort of people? Are they going to come out with a buggy chassis? Or are they just going to leave it up to Kyosho? They could always release a micro version, a lossy F1 on us. Sorry, I don't quite understand that one. They could always release a micro version of the lossy. Oh, the lossy. Oh, I didn't even know lossy did an F1. Yeah, well, obviously Reflex have just released their F1, which looks pretty sick. I'd like to try one, but we don't have enough drivers over here in mod class anyway to warrant another class. And I'm never such a fan of the F1s and the way that they dig into the barriers and destroy the barriers. The track's expensive enough as it is to have to worry about cars kind of destroying it. So a little nervous about running F1. Yeah, SCT. I'll be all over that as a micro. Has anyone done an SCT body for these yet? I can't remember. If they have, they've never looked particularly great. It was like some of the truggy or truck bodies that got released for the Micro B before the T came out. It just looked a bit off. Yeah, Tamiya micros. That, I mean, did anyone else used to play with the little Tamiyas that were very similar to this, that used to bounce around the track? The sort of not RC ones, the little, they ran on the same motors as the Mini Zs, didn't they? I forget what they're called, but I've seen quite a bit of it going on online in, I think, Japan, I guess. But I am very tempted to get some of those because we had such a blast with them as a child. I remember making a massive cardboard track for them, just cardboard and masking tape. We made a big 2-lane track with a crossover when we were tiny with my mum, and we had a great time with those. But yeah, why? Yeah, I mean, they would lend themselves to this absolutely perfectly. Maybe Tamiya will get into the micro buggies. Who knows? Micro lunchbox. I've got a big space in my heart for the lunchbox. I had a lunchbox as it was my first Tamiya many years ago, probably 30 or more years ago. I had a Tamiya lunchbox, and about 4 years ago, I bought my son a Tamiya lunchbox. So on the shelf behind me, I have got a Tamiya lunchbox, which I built with my son, and we go drive fairly regularly. And I mean, it's an experience, isn't it? I do get a little frustrated with the lunchbox and the fact that it just doesn't turn. But after you get past that, they're good fun. Yeah, Tamiya, get on the case. Let's see some micros. I mean, they had the Tamtec, didn't they, many moons ago? So it's not like they've not done micros before. I never had a Tamtec, but I remember looking them at what was it, the Tamiya something guide, whatever it was called. Used to drool over that magazine as a child. Incidentally, I saw on eBay one of those magazines and nearly had a heart attack at how much it was. Wish I'd kept my old ones. Right, we're getting there now. Just doing the battery tray mod. Trying to figure out how much I cut away. Front, I've completely cut away. Yeah, they all handled pretty dreadfully. But as we said, there wouldn't be a Tamiya. Or it wouldn't, I don't know, it wouldn't be the same if it went in a straight line, would it? You're just about to watch live as I slice into my finger. RC action. We had a couple of magazines over here in the UK. One called Radio Race Car and one called RCM and E is the ones that I remember. And I've still got some original stickers in one of my boxes from that magazine. I've still got most of my original cars except for my lunchbox, and except for I also had a Tamiya Cosworth, Sierra Cosworth, no, Escort Cosworth, which I remember selling to a friend, which I've tried to get back, but I don't know if they've even still got it. I still have a Tamiya F1 Jordan 191, which I've been meaning to try and restore, but I've just not got around to it. Still got Tamiya, yeah, F1. What else have I got? I think that's all. Still got my brother's F1. He's got the, I can't remember. It was white and red. Forgotten what F1 it was. But that's in a lot better shape than mine because he never used it. I've still got, you guys over in America probably never had them, Mardave mini stocks, which were a very basic car but great fun. And I've still got a Cougar 2 Works, which again was my brother's, which needs to be restored. I've never got around to that either. Right, we're getting there on this. Battery tray is now trimmed down and we're just about ready to throw it back in the car. Once we've got this done, might crack open the Micro T. Cougar 2 looks fun. They're a great car. They have obviously just done the re-release on them. and I would love to have a re-release one, but I can't afford it. But yeah, the Cougar 2 was a very well known and desired car. Right, I think I've cut just about everything that I need to off of here. Let's get this stuck back in. Now, I've had people moan at me saying that this mod doesn't allow the battery to cool down, but I'm sorry, the battery never gets hot in the first place, so I'm going to do it anyway. For those that have joined halfway through, I am just doing a quick build on a brand new buggy here for my brother. We've done the servo wiring, we have done the motor wiring, and we have done a transponder. I've just done the battery tray modification. How long are we going? We're going an hour. That's not bad, is it? To do all this rubbish. Yeah, exactly. The motor is way more of an issue, which reminds me I should take that motor out and pull the sticker off it for him, because when he goes back to Florida, he is going to race this in the garage. He's going to build a track, so it will be getting hot. So let's do that quickly for him. So just got to pull the motor out. Going to be mean and still his nice fast motor, but that'd be rather cheeky. I'm assuming, well, this is going to be a version 2 because it's brand new. How often do you race Easy Fallout? Right. It's easier if I just pop this shock off, I think, to get the motor case off. Oh, nice. Right. Just want to get the motor out, so I'm just gonna. Get the motor out. Nice. I wish I had time to practice every evening. I feel like my driving has not improved recently, partly due to the lack of maintenance on my own cars, because I've spent so much time doing club stuff, trying to get that event sorted. The state of my cars is pretty appalling at the moment. I haven't even got a decent set of tyres on there, but there you go. Right. Motor out. Let's pull the sticker off. These mate, typical. Why can't they put a sticker on there that doesn't fall to pieces? Yeah, I'm going to be lazy and not clean all the gunk off because it's getting late. But we will just take the sticker off so it doesn't overheat any more than it needs. I should also run this engine in, but I think he's already run the car, so it's probably had a little bit. Maybe I'll do it before he goes home, but I'll just get the basics done for him at the moment. There we go. That'll do for the moment. Or I could rub some acetone over it. I've got some right here. Stop being lazy. Yeah, trying to race and run an event is interesting, shall we say. I didn't do anything to my own cars, did I? I think if I did anything to my own cars, I think I just charged it up. That was about as much as prep. I managed to give it a bit of a once over before we raced. During the event, I didn't get a chance to tune or do anything really. Yeah, it's not really ideal, but if I didn't do the events, I wouldn't even have anywhere to race. So yeah, there you go. It's all good. Lots of people had fun. I had some very good feedback, which was really nice to hear and really appreciated. Next time, I would like to try doing a buggy one. I imagine it'll be even more stressful than the Mini Z one, but it'll be interesting to see how popular it is. So I'll probably do that sort of maybe November time. Actually, if I've got any, have I got anyone from the club online here watching? I don't suppose I do. Everyone's probably in bed. It is now, I think it's midnight here in the UK. But I've got to try and get this done. Yeah, we had a really good turnout of kids. We had, how many kids do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have four kids racing at the UK Open. We normally have more kids. No, five kids. We normally have a fairly good turnout of kids anyway at the club, which is really nice to see. Kids ranging from 6 and up. But yeah, really good to see them joining in and all learning. Yeah, it's about the only time that I get to work on my cars is in the evenings. this fairly regularly. I'll be up until gone 1, trying to get stuff done for either myself or someone else. Running the club tends to mean that I get to fix everyone's cars for them. So, but I don't mind. If it keeps people racing, that's all that matters. This one is obviously my brother's. So, I just put the pinion on the wrong way around. Always doing this with the buggies. Always forget it goes on backwards. Right. Here we go. Back in. Still annoying that the screws are different sizes. It's so irritating. And the question is, are we going to do shocks after this? Should do, really, because I'm probably not going to get time to do them at any other point. Alright, I'm getting there. Right. Gear mesh is set. Oh, apologies for rocking the camera. Gear mesh on these ones is obviously got a slight amount of adjustment. You want it, oh, sorry again. You want it, you definitely don't want it too tight. You want to have a tiny bit of movement between the pinion and the spur. Tiny amount of rock. There isn't really anything. You used to do the whole paper trick, but with these small cars, there really isn't anything thin enough that you can slide in between the two to get the mesh. So you've just got to keep trying until you get it good. Tiny bit more. Just want to be able to see light between the teeth. There we go. Very hard to see, but just a tiny little rock between the two is where I set them. So we're good on that front now. Motor can go back together. I shouldn't have put that shock on, I shouldn't have. Ah, that's interesting. Where did you hear the recall on that? Because I haven't got the 15, the one with the spur gear, but I know a friend. I've got the 45 turn there, but I've heard that they overheat as well. So I need to try and test it out ASAP. A bit nervous about testing it out, and it does damage, but from what I gathered, the ESC normally just goes into some sort of cutout. So fingers crossed it doesn't actually damage it. But then, as I say, I've got the MOSFETs here I bought off AliExpress for next to nothing, that I am going to try and basically stack on top of here. So put it in the same orientation, and then I have to solder the legs together. So it'll be interesting to see if that solves the issue with the 45 turn motors. We will find out. The other thing that I need to test a little more is the car that I've got with the 45 turn motor in, but running on a different ESC. I still haven't put a good amount of time behind that. I'm hoping in the next couple of days. We've had some really we had some really good weather at the start of the spring. Absolutely fantastic weather. But then for the last couple of weeks, the weather's gone absolutely all over the place, and I haven't been able to set up any sort of track outside at home to do any testing on. So plan is to roll out a bit of carpet and do a bit of testing at home with the buggies, which I'm hoping might even happen in the next day or two. So that will give me time to hopefully test some of these motors, because otherwise it's just trying to do it at race nights, and I don't like doing that. I like driving my cars normally. Okay, so we are getting there. We have done the motor. What else have we got to do? Shocks. That's about it, I think. Shocks. There was something else I thought of a second ago, but I can't remember what it was. Put these two in before I lose it. Battery. Trim the little tabs off the battery. So this has been pretty much a summary of all my videos rolled into one. Does anyone think Losi are going to come out with a brushless setup for these? They alluded to it when I messaged them months ago, but we've not seen anything yet. Maybe now they've got the Micro T out, maybe they will now start teasing people with swapping those over to brushless. Right. Everyone knows how hard these plugs are to go in. So to solve that, just cut the little tabs off completely. There's enough friction on the plugs anyway to not need them. These were obviously not plugs designed for this purpose, but it does make them a lot easier to come in and out. Yeah, okay, next job is shocks. I hate this job. especially as it's getting late. But we will just pop a bit of oil in them so they're not absolutely awful. I've been using 200 weight in all my buggies. Got to be honest, I'm not sure the shocks are good enough to actually really notice much of a difference in the different weights, but it seems to work. I still want someone to come out with a friction shock rather than an oil shock, because I think that would actually work better. Jeez. I don't want much speed, much more speed. Maybe 10% tops would be nice. That's all. Now we've got them handling a lot better. Tiny bit of extra speed wouldn't go amiss. Right. But yeah, they are pretty much fast enough as it is. Okay, this is gonna look really bad, but there's not much way around it because shock pliers don't fit obviously in there, so I just got to use needle nose pliers and hold it tight enough that I don't do any damage. Yeah, just yeah. Yeah, as I say, I really don't want a huge amount more speed. I just want everyone to be equal and and 5 or 10% more would be a nice little touch. Right, so I'm just doing a bit of a disassembly on these shocks. I'm going to be using some green slime on the O-rings just to make them nice and buttery smooth. Just going to pop it out apart. I'm not going to do a full disassembly on them. I apologise for these blisters on my hands. It's not because I've got some weird skin disease, it's because the racing that I did at the weekend, sailing, absolutely destroyed my hands. We do a race here around an island called the Isle of Wight, and it's about 70 normal miles around the island. And obviously in a sailing boat you can't go in a straight line the whole time, so we probably sailed, well, over the weekend I probably sailed about 300 miles. No, maybe 200. And I ended up tearing my hands to pieces. So not some weird skin disease. Okay, this is something that you've got to watch on these shocks, and that's the O-rings starting to poke their head through this bottom cap if you screw them up too tightly. I'll show you, because there you go. If you can see, just there, the O-ring has started to push itself through, and that will end up binding your shocks up. So tighten them up snugly and then back it off just the tiniest amount, and that stops the O-ring from coming through. Next up, we're going to fill our shocks up. This is 200 CST. Try and get any air out. Normally there isn't a huge amount in there. Yeah, as I said, I really wish someone would come out with a friction shock like on the reflex racing cars. And rather than all this oil that you have to deal with, it was just a friction shock, and you just use diff grease or some thicker grease to control the damping, because I think it would be a lot more consistent, a lot easier to get the shocks all set up the same. But we shall see. I've not seen anyone do it yet. So what we don't want is too much rebound. You can see there that's coming out fairly quickly, so it probably means I've got too much oil in there. So all I want to do is just crack it open again. Push the piston up. Generally, just you end up taking out enough oil to give it another go. Normally when you do it up, there's a whole load that comes out as well, so yeah, we're running a fairly smooth track. It's just carpet. I would run. You see, this is what I mean by trying to get the shocks consistent. That's too much rebound. Let's try again. Yeah, I would try 150. I don't have any. And there was a bit of a wait to try and get it, and I've not gotten around to it. They saying that I do have 100, so I could mix them up. Right, I've got a bit of a let's try and get rid of some of these bubbles on the top. Just run the knife around there and it just gets rid of them. Well, this is kind of what I mean. Like, if they were a friction shock, you're just running grease, and the grease is then going to be consistent because there's no oil. Tell me where I've put the shock cap. I've just put it down. Can't see it. How do things disappear on a bench that is so small? There it is. Wow. This is as long as it takes to do these shocks. We won't be getting them all done tonight. Right, let's try again. I'm going to push the piston up. Just to the thread. I'm going to go on once. On twice. I'm going to see. Well, that's there we go. There we go. The rebound is a lot slower now. Happy with that. Don't think it's going to get much better. Cool. First one done. What tyres is everyone running now on carpet? Are we still running stock tyres? Anyone been experimenting? I do have a set of these. Not tried them yet. Cool, one down. Now, if you just join me and you're squeamish, look away. I am using a pair of needle nose pliers on the shock shaft. I'm being very careful not to allow it to rotate. And I'm hoping that they're hard enough not to do any damage. Right, number 2. Okay, so I have just lifted up the first O-ring, the spacer, and then the second O-ring is still down there. I'm just going to put a small amount of green slime in there, slide down the little spacer, and then tiny amount of green slime for that second O-ring. Don't need too much. And then, like I said, just be careful that you don't tighten that bottom cap too far. There you go. Get rid of the old oil. Pop some new in. Pumpy, pumpy. Get the bubbles out. And then we're going to do same as we did before. Screw it down once. Back off. Screw it down twice. Let's try that again. Don't think I went far enough. twice. Let's see what that looks like. No, still too much. Try it again. It's not too bad. I think that'll do. That's better. There you go. I think that'll do for the second one. So we are nearly wrapping this build up. This prep work done to this new buggy chassis. I may do another live stream this week, maybe. Actually, maybe I won't. Got quite a lot on this week. Cool. These can go on in a second. I will just do these rear ones while I'm at it. Tempting to try and do these. Let's take them up. There we go. Another one apart. I'll tell you what. Let's do these at the same time. How's everyone going? Let's just joined. Having a good week. Looking forward to the weekend. I've got something happening at the weekend, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, Father's Day. Father's Day this weekend in the UK. I believe it's Father's Day in America too. I think I'm right in saying. Don't think we've got anything planned for Father's Day over here yet, but should have to see. Hoping to get out and do a bit of boat racing this weekend. Model that is. Oh, well. Thank you. Oh, my word. Go back to and watch how not to do it. Wow, that is tight. I don't want to use pliers on it, but I might have to. Oh, there we go. It's the messiest job of all this. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd watch my videos again. Can't believe anyone's watching it first time around, to be honest. You guys must have some serious time to kill. Right, here we go, going back together. Oh, rush that. There we go. If you think you're going to get the piston through those O-rings after you've put the cap on, you'll be much mistaken. All right. Clips. That green slime really does work well. If you haven't been using it, I would definitely recommend picking some up. It just keeps, not only does it keep them smooth, but it also helps keep the oil in. Stops it from getting past those seals. Means you haven't got to do the seals up quite so tight. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. I don't know if it would work though. I think it would. I think the liquid rubber would just. I think you'd just squeeze straight through it. I'm not sure it would work, unfortunately. Aluminium pliers would be the best bet. If you can find some aluminium, or to be honest, probably grinding a set of these down. It'd be pretty drastic, but chop some of these down. Don't know if aluminium needle nose pliers are a thing. Right, 39mm shocks for SCX24 crawler. Yeah, these shocks, well, at the moment we run a pure stock class, so shocks that we use for racing have to stay stock, which is why I am farting around with these ones. I do have a set of lossy shocks right here, which I still haven't used and built. They are for a build that is coming up. There you go, got that one first time. There we go. But yeah, there are a lot of other shocks for the crawlers that work, and it's the cheaper option. But yeah, as I say, these are for a box stock class, so we don't allow them. Utah, wow, all the way from Utah. Never been there. Florida, yeah, been there a good few times. As I say, I've got my brother over here with his family at the moment, and it's been pretty amazing actually. He's got 2 kids, I've got 1, and they've been playing like absolute champs together. They are having the best time. So I can see myself going over to Florida in the not too distant future to spend some more time with them out there. Well, it looks a little fast on the rebound, those. About the same. I might at some point just try going a fraction thicker. Yeah, that would be nice. Not going to happen, but that would be nice. It was me that got him back into buggy racing 4 or 5 years ago. I went out to Florida with my 10th scale buggy, and we went to Beachline Raceway down south of Orlando, towards Cocoa Beach, and as soon as he had a go, he was pretty hooked again. So it's nice to see him having a play around with these as well. He hasn't had any micros before, so this is all new to him. Oh, come on. Trying to get this little seal out. Come on. Maybe if I take shot cap off first, will help. Not sure he ever grew up, really, to be honest. I know I haven't. Have any of us grown up? Really? If you had to be completely honest with yourself, have any of us ever grown up? Should we grow up? Why do we have to grow up? Yeah, there are things we have to prioritize, but I don't think we should ever have to grow up. Got to make the most of your life, and yeah, have fun, do the things that you like. That's all that matters, really. Cool. We're getting there. Last one. Then I can call it a night and go to bed. Still need to have a shower. Just before I did this, we were doing marshmallows on the fire out in the garden, and I absolutely stink of smoke. It's a job. Good job. This is only on camera. Yeah, I think that applies to me also. Right. Cap on. Getting tired, struggling to get this done. No, I don't want to do that, do I? Piston in. Piston in, hold the piston, screw the cap on, mop up the oil, repeat. come out with some friction shocks, please. There we go. Oh, we haven't done it. No, not happy with that. Still a bit fast. That or bleed screw. Bleed screw on the cap, which I have actually added to shocks before, simply by putting a hole in there and popping a little screw in there. Still a bit faster than I'd hoped, but I'm afraid that is going to be it for that job. Here we go. Oh, blimey, have I just spent nearly an hour doing this? Don't know what's worse, spending an hour doing this, or the fact that I've talked to myself for the past hour. A few of you guys, but pretty much to myself. Right. Okay, we're there. Put these back on. Is there anything that I've missed? Oh. Shock settings. Where do we run them? Inside, outside, outside, inside. I'm just going to set these shocks up. Yeah, I know. If it wasn't 1 o'clock at night, I wouldn't be moaning. I really don't mind doing it, but I am tired now. Right. What am I doing inside? I'm going to go move the shock mounts inside on the top. Any other, what's everyone else running on the shock settings with regards to brain's gone, these things? I'm going inside on the top, outside on the bottom. That's what I've been running on all my other cars. It seems to work. I was hoping to get the Micro T open tonight, but that's not happened. So that will have to wait for another night. I might well. No, I won't live stream it because it's going to be exactly the same as this video. I would explain my shock settings if I could think straight, but I'll probably say completely the wrong things at the moment. So I'm just going to copy my other car. Right. Nearly there. Inside. So front shocks I have left on the outside on the top. And we are going on the inside on the bottom. Sorry. These are all a pain to get back in. There we go. Oh, I want one of those beetle bodies for the Micro T. I do. The Pro Line one I think is the one to get, isn't it? Is that the best looker? I do like that. There we go. Right. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Oh, has anyone done that? Have you seen someone that's put like a badger style? It looks a little fast, but that's the way it's going to be now. I don't know. About the same. I do like the sound of that. I do like the sound of doing it. Oh, I don't know if I can justify buying a. I don't know how much the Pro Line bodies are. I wouldn't mind getting one. Well, the back feels really nice. The front feels average. Gotta be honest. I don't know. It's a bit noisy, but the rear feels really nice. But there you go. Anyway, that is it for tonight. That reminds me, still got the body to do. Mustn't forget to do that. Need to cut the stickers, cut the sticker, clean the. I'll do it off camera, not tonight. Cast some painkiller, cut the sticker off, polish the back, and that will get the transponder working. I need to stick the transponder in, but that can wait as well. So I don't lose it, I will it on. Go. There we go. I need to get that stuck down, but there you go. I think we are there for tonight. I've made a complete mess of my bench. I am now going to have a drink and go to bed. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Any last questions, give us a shout. Otherwise, I will see you next time. I will try and get a few other videos up ASAP, but otherwise, have fun at the track, have a good weekend, and I will see you soon.